Hello, on Peeps, the Twin Peaks recap show.
I'm Kimber.
And you're welcome. We're here to talk about part 14. We are like the dreamers. What do you think of this episode?
I liked this one. And Corey, wherever he is, will be glad that there was no Dougie. So
that's true. Quick shout out to the store, to the chat. Hi Cal, hi Ashley and Joe who are in line at the store, and hello anyone in the line with them who could hear me. Chipchannel.com.
he doesn't have volume on.
It's great when you're gonna rewatch this and then. So we open in Buckhorn, North Dakota, and Gordon is on the phone with Lucy, which is great, and Lucy is like yelling back at Gordon on the phone, which is cute. And he gets transferred over to Sheriff Truman. I guess Truman called and left a message for Gordon to call him back. And he thought it was Harry, but no, it's his brother. And he's like, look, we have some information that might help you. It's weird, but we might have something implying that there's two Coopers. And Gordon's like, well, I can't say yes or no, but I really appreciate the information. I hope your brother does better. Talk to you soon. So then we go over to what's the mean dude's name? Albert.
He's not mean.
He was mean in the first season. Albert and Tammy, right? They are discussing, like, he's kind of like testing her, and he's telling her story, like, look, there's a case where a woman, and then they said the name so fast I didn't write it down, but there's a woman, and for like a weird case, and they got in there, and there's two women in there, and one of them was he's happier now, especially since she met that morgue lady, but and he's like, pretty much what happened was there's two of them there. One of them disappeared, and it said, I am like the blue rose. And she like disappeared into nothing. And so Alfred's saying, so what should you concentrate on in everything I just told you? And she was like, the blue rose. And he's like, all right, yeah, but why? And she's like, all right, well, like, roses aren't blue naturally, so it's another term for the unnatural. And Albert reveals that the two officers who responded to that case were Gordon and Philip Jeffries, who, you remember, is David Bowie's character from Fire Walk With Me. Oh man, Gordon comes in, and there's this window cleaner from like the depths of hell, and poor Gordon, but he goes away, and Diane comes in. She reports for duty, and she's asking if Cooper or Gordon asked her if Cooper brought up Briggs last time he saw her, like outside of the prison, and she's like, I don't want to talk about that. And he's like, all I want to know is if he brought him up. And she's like, yeah, why? And he's like, all right, well, we have, like, it turns out we thought he died so long ago. It turns out he died, like, a short while ago. And we found this ring in his stomach. And it says, to Dougie from Janie. And Diane's, like, weirded out because her estranged stepsister?
Something like that.
Is named Janie, and her husband's name is Dougie, but she hasn't talked to him in years, and they live in Las Vegas, so I think it's the same Dougie.
I didn't see that connection coming at all. Actually,
I didn't either.
Never would have guessed they were going to go there with that.
I was saying earlier, Diane and Janie have very similar tastes. Half sister. Okay. Um, so they call the Las Vegas FBI, and they're like, first off, overwhelmed by Gordon's call because it's just super loud. And at the end, they're like, "Oh, there's so and so Douglas Jones." I wish Gordon had just said Douglas Jones and Janie Jones because that would have been a lot easier than Mr. and Mrs. Douglas Jones. But they're like, "How are we gonna get him?" And like the guy who took the call was like, "We're the FBI. This is what we do." Like he's so intense. So there's that. Then we get to I think your favorite part of the episode, Gordon's dream.
Yes.
He says he has a Monica Bellucci dream.
And instantly I was like, yes, he has good taste because she's super beautiful, even now, gorgeous. And then we're treated to his dream sequence, I guess, with Monica Bellucci playing herself, which was very exciting.
Yeah, it was Paris, a cafe. And Cooper was there too, but he couldn't see his face. And she says to him, "We are like the dreamers who dreams that live inside the dream." So some Inception shit going on. And he's like, "I understand." And she's like, "Yeah, but who's the dreamer?" And it cuts flawlessly to a black and white version of Fire Walk With Me flashback, where, and he's explaining it. It's like, "Oh, well, it reminded me of this time when Cooper came and talked to me." And Coop comes in and he's like, "It's 10:10 a.m. I'm, I'm, I'm coming here to tell you about the dream that I told you about." And Philip Jeffries walks in. He knows how to dream in style.
He has good taste in women. I liked his other French chick he was talking to as well.
David Bowie walks in, and this is cool because I've seen this scene before, and so I didn't have this context before alongside of it. And he points to Cooper, and he's like, "Who do you think that is?" So maybe Jeffries knew there would be two Coops all along. Interesting. I still want to know what happened to Chet. Here's my favorite part of the episode. They nail Chad. Not for a specific woman. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Not for a specific reason at all. They don't say it, but I assume it was because he was tampering with evidence, and Lucy caught him that one time.
Lucy turned him in.
And so yeah, and they ordered him there was an extra sandwich there, I think, because that's how they lured him into the room. So maybe that's why Andy just got one with cheese.
It's the old sandwich misdirect.
That's
how you.
The ruse is up. That is how I proposed.
The sandwich misdirect.
We went to Panera. So we see the Twin Peaks sheriff gang, and they go to find Jack Rabbit's palace. And he asks if the listening station that Briggs worked at was nearby, and Bobby points up the road. He's like, "Yeah, but I only went in there a couple of times, and all it was machines. But we came out here all the time, and we saw Jack Rabbit's palace. Not as majestic as I thought it would be.
I thought it was kind of cool.
No, it was cool.
He also hasn't been there since he was a kid.
So it must have looked a lot bigger too. That's an interesting point. And they put soil in their pockets, and I guess it's like 250 meters to the point where they have to go investigate. And then we're treated to some thunder fog. Holy smoke! There's some cool fog with like lightning going through it, and we see. I know she has a name, but yeah, we see the girl from the purple zone, the one with no eyes, and there's like a weird gold pool. And then Truman goes, "Oh, it's 2:53, which is the time that they're supposed to." Nadia, not NATO. I knew it was that. I just don't want to pronounce it wrong. It's 2:53, and the portal opens, the same kind of portal we saw when Gordon found Briggs's body. And Andy, of all people, who, of course, is like holding NATO's hand and trying to comfort her and everything like that, he gets pulled into what I think is the White Lodge. I could be wrong. And we find out that the giant calls himself the fireman.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like he's the one who puts out the bad fire. I don't know.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, he's just taking Andy in? Like, of all the whole bunch that's there, it's Andy. And he just was like, so still.
And he's sitting there in very Cooper-esque, and all of a sudden, like this little weird like paper lantern / smoke machine pops up into Andy's hand, and like smoke trails out and goes into like a skylight, and it shows him all this stuff, and he sees
It was like the gas station.
the woodsman.
The birth of Bob, right?
He saw the birth of Bob. He saw Laura with angels, framed by angels. He saw Nadio, whatever, Nadio. NATO? Is that? I guess you can't tell me if I'm saying it right. And then we have a cool like Cooper and Doppel Cooper. Made who controls fire. Another interesting point. Tina has a good point. She says she doesn't think he's like a firefighter, but someone who is made to control fire. What if he control? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he's like the keeper of fire. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe.
Maybe.
Anyway, so the Cooper, Doppel Cooper, like overlay and then separate. Nido. Got it. And then a phone, Andy like leaving Lucy leading her someplace in the station and then leaving her and stepping away. And then we get the street like street number 6 3 times, so 666. And then Andy's back holding Nado. Did I say it right? Nido. And he's like, oh, and during the scene, the rest of the cops, like they're walking around during the time Andy's gone, and it's like doing the thing, and they look like the woodsmen, so that's interesting. And then Andy gets back with Nido, and he's like, all right, we got to go put her in the cell. She's very important. We can't tell anyone about this, blah, blah, blah. And he just knows all the shit. And then Truman and Hawk and all the rest of them don't remember anything. So that's cool. And then they go and they put her in the cell, and Chad's like,
Chad.
Andy, you're no cop at all, blah, blah, blah. And there's a guy repeating him, and he's like, you're not a cop at all. And he's like drunk and all beat up, and his mouth is bleeding. And then you realize how much it's bleeding. And Kimber came up with a cool theory. It looked like
No, I was just noticing that it looked like oil to me almost, how like the edges were all like yellowy looking, and in the middle was darker of his puddle of mouth blood.
But it's weird. It also sounds like the drunk dude who's repeating is also kind of talking in those weird like high-pitched yelps that Nido is kind of talking in, and it looks like they're having a conversation, and then Chad just starts mocking them. And then we go to James and Greenhand. I wanted to know what was with Greenhand's deal since like episode 1 when he was just in the roundhouse, the roadhouse.
This is the glove dude.
This is the glove dude. Greenhand is what I call him. We find out James has been a security guard this whole time alongside Greenhand, and they're on their break, and like Greenhand's holding a nut, and he like goes and it like breaks. So I was like, all right, so is this like a prosthetic? I didn't understand like how he was breaking these nuts because James had to eventually pop one open for him with like a pocket knife, and we find out that he can't even take the glove off.
Joe nominates, we call him Pile Driver.
Pile Driver's a good one.
Story.
He can't even take the glove off. He tried once, and his hand started bleeding, so he stopped. And so it turns out, about 6 months ago, he was in foggy London town, and he like just jumped onto some boxes for fun, And then when he did, he got sucked into like a vortex. I assume one similar to the one we saw earlier. And there he was floating and he met the fireman. And the fireman told him, go to your local hardware store. There's going to be a package of gloves with one missing. You're going to buy that package and you're going to go to Twin Peaks.
And he told him which hand would be in there too. There's only
The
going
right
to be
glove,
a right
yeah.
glove, yeah.
And so, sure enough, he goes and he does this, and he tries to buy the glove, and the guy's being a real job work. Is that what it was?
Job worth.
Job worth, which he explains as someone who like says, "Oh, that's not what my job is. It's not my job description.
Job's not worth that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Green Hand arm wrestles Mr. C.
Oh.
Ooh. Title match of the century. So the guys wouldn't sell it to him, and finally he just puts down the quid, I guess, and takes the glove and walks out. This guy's being an ass and like tries to beat him up and jump him about it, and so Green Hand just like clocks him, and I think he breaks his jaw. I can't remember what he said he broke because it was like a weird slang, which I'm not familiar with. If only Morgan was here. But yeah, so he does that, and he like pretty much breaks the jaw, and he goes to the airport to buy a ticket to Twin Peaks, and it turns out he already has one. Weird. So James goes and checks out the furnace, and we find in the furnace room the same hum, the weird chime that we're hearing in the Horns Hotel. We go to the Elk Point 9. This is some weird shit. Was there anything you wanted to say about all that?
Yeah, I liked the Green Hand scene a lot. Too. That was one of my favorite ones in that episode for sure. I don't know. It just appealed to me, the whole thing. I liked
Seems like the fireman is getting together these like unlikely, like Coop. Yeah, he's cool. He's suave. But like he's getting just like a little Magnificent Seven action going on in Twin Peaks, maybe. I'm really excited about the new episode of Game of Thrones. Can you guys tell? So we go to the Elk Point number 9, which I guess is the old person roadhouse, because it's very chill and there's just pool tables and creepy dudes who wear truck shirts. And we see Sarah, and I don't. This may be nothing, but what Sarah's like going in and sitting there, or as she's coming in, there's like tall dude who's like all black, and like black clothing and dark black hair, like off to the side of his face, stops and grabs something on his shoe and then keeps going. And it could be nothing, but that was just weird, and I don't think he would be in there for no reason. So Blurg on the Avengers, that's hilarious. Yeah, instead of Spider-Man, oh wait, I don't want to wreck it for anyone who hasn't seen Homecoming yet. So we see this like dude at the end of the bar, and he's hassling her, and I guess you can probably set the tone here.
Yeah, this dude just sucks. He's like everything bad about getting hit on at the bar going wrong. Like he hits on her and it doesn't go his way, so instantly he's like calling her a bunch of names and talking all this shit and getting like really aggressive with her.
And so she's just like, look, get out of my face. I'm not trying to be polite. I'm trying to be real. And then she even like resorts to saying like, look, please go away. And he still doesn't, and like he implies that like he'd fix her with his dick.
Yeah.
And she looks at him and goes, "I'd eat you." And he goes, "Oh, like I'd like to see you try or whatever." And she just like takes off her face, which we saw Laura Palmer do in episode 1, but it was bright light behind it, I believe. So and it's just like a void of like.
She said
black
like you don't
and
want
smoke.
any of this or something.
Or it said it was like, "Do you really want any of this or something?" And so she does that, and it looked like Bob's smile, like specifically Bob. I don't know if they like animated it, but it looked really cool.
Yeah, Ashley says he called her gay too, which is like another go-to of men who don't take getting turned down well. Sometimes I've had that. I am half gay. Still, they don't know my life.
And she puts a face back on, and then takes a quick jump out of his throat, like so quick that she doesn't even get blood on her lips. and she freaks out. So obviously, like something took over her for a second, and because it snaps right back
she says,
into
like, what happened, I think.
Yeah, and then when the guy threatens her and is like, "Oh, we're gonna keep an eye on you," or whatever, she's like, "Oh, what a mystery!" Like it's like it back to the whole. So that was interesting. Then we're back to the Roadhouse, and oh, quick thing I skipped on earlier. So the whole because not Jamie, James is like, when we're done with our shift, talking to Greenhand or pile driver, we're gonna go to the Roadhouse, and he's like, oh, who's playing tonight? Blah blah blah, and he's like, oh, you only want to see Renee, who was the girl who was crying last episode.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I think that is because you were concentrating so much on the wedding ring, and he makes a point to go, oh yeah, but she's married. So I think that's
there we go.
So now that's Renee. And so we see two other girls sitting at the bar, and the one goes, look, have you seen Billy? You were the one who was probably last seen with Billy. So this is the girl who Charlie called, and Billy's Audrey's interest.
Okay.
Right? So we're getting some connections here. And so we find out that Billy, the last time she saw Billy, he coming in like freaking out. We have figuring down.
It's Audrey.
Oh, that's spooky. Blood flying out of his mouth and everything, and this all sounds very familiar. So putting two and two together, I think Billy is the guy who's echoing in the jail cell. Am I wrong? I think that's right. Ashley's like, I'm half gay. I like that phrase. Oh, a lot of people think it was Laura's smile, not Bob's smile. So is Laura possessing? Oh, that'd be creepy. If Laura's possessing Sarah or something, maybe. But it could always be like the intention to protect her, because obviously we see. I don't know. Either way, it's driving her crazy. Oh, and for a second I thought, is this Audrey's daughter? Maybe, and we find out no. This girl's mom's name is Tina. So Tina, what the hell, man? Have you been holding out on us this whole time? You couldn't have told us all this stuff was going on with Billy? I mean, you're the girl's mom, right? Because I don't know any other Tinas from Twin Peaks. So, I mean, I could be wrong. Could Billy be Richard? I've never heard Billy for Richard. I've always heard Billy for, like, William. Like, Richard Dick would be Richard, right? Dickon? That was a segue to our other content on Odd Shape Channel. Our Game of Thrones recap show, Night's Watch, with Cal the Kingslayer, who we will probably be having call in first if he's down. Because that's it. That's the episode. What did you think overall?
I liked the band at the end, by the way, which you didn't talk about.
The band at the end was pretty good. They were good.
That was probably my favorite one of the songs that they've had.
And then at the end of the credits, I noticed it said "In Memory of David Bowie," which was really nice.
It actually made me really super sad.
So we're gonna have Cal call in first, and let us know if you're interested in calling in. Ashley and Joe, I know you're at the store still, or at least on the way home. And if that's the case, we will try to stretch this out a little bit so you can get in here. Anyone else want to call? Let me know. Did we see Corey at all? No Corey, which is weird, because you would think this would be his favorite episode ever, because no Dougie in this episode. We saw Cooper and we saw Doppel Cooper for.
Shout out to Mavis for being good.
Oh, Corey is here. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, is he even stealth?
Ha 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 ha.
Summoned him.
That's what I do, man. Now I'm just gonna say, oh, I wonder where Dub is. No luck. No Dub.
Hello.
I've heard about you.
I've heard about you.
Ooh, he sounds like a robot.
You're coming in a little bit roboty.
Uh-oh.
Try it again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it sounds better.
Okay. Oh, hey, Corey. right, so I have a bunch of
So,
stuff to say.
oh no, it's not better at all.
okay.
I'm gonna send you another invite because I can barely
Okay.
hear you. I don't know what.
All right, no problem.
Sorry, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Just kidding. That was revenge for him talking about Lost last night. That's your call, Cal. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna call him right now. Cal's feed got lost. Didn't.
That's what we need on set. We have boxed up the odd crate for the winner.
It turns out. Oh, do we?
It's right there.
Oh yeah, for Chase.
And then we will be doing the video for the other one soon.
Hey, how's it going,
Can
Cal?
you hear me now?
Yeah. Oh, much better.
All right, cool. I took a bunch of notes because I have stuff to say for this episode. I'm just like little small notes.
I like how you're like, I got a bunch of notes, and here I am with this friggin' notebook.
The first thing I said was like a little tip of the cap to the fans who read the books and stuff. They actually showed like listening post alpha in the shot where they show the woods and like the mountains. If you look in the top, like the bottom right corner, so on top of a mountain, you see all these trees, but through the trees you see a little like a little outpost. And I'm pretty sure that was listening post alpha. And then that's the next scene where Bobby goes, "Oh, listening post alpha is right through this, like right up ahead." So I thought that was pretty cool. That was nice. I was also happy that I finally got validation for the fireman theory, because I remember reading this a while ago on Reddit, and I said something and no one believed me about it. And I was like, "What? This sounds so legit." Because when Part 8 happened, a lot of Redditors noticed that the song that was playing when the giant went up in the air and that spewed the gold stuff out was called "The Fireman," and his in the credits he's listed as 7 question marks, and fireman is 7 letters. So a lot of people put that together, and I was like saying that, oh, that sounds really legit, but everyone's like, oh no, I don't think so. So when I saw it come up, I'm like, yes, it was true. Like, so that was cool to see.
Cool.
Another thing I was thinking of, like I remember like Tina was saying that like the woodsman might be the log lady's husband, but like why not the fireman? The fireman, like from the books and stuff, the guy she married is a big dude, and like he was a firefighter. He was a logsman, but he's also a voluntary firefighter, and he died in the fire. So like I don't see why he can't be a fireman also, but who knows?
He would have to be like a host form or something, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think a host form or something like that. But yeah, I think it could be possible. I don't know. That's what I was thinking about that. Another thing also, you know the scene. So you guys are talking about Pile Driver and James. Weren't they at the Great Northern? Because I think they showed a zoomed out shot first of the Great Northern. Then they showed them in the loading docks of the Great Northern.
That makes more sense.
And their uniform says Great Northern Security or something like that.
Okay, and so the hum is just the hum from the Great Northern. It's not
right. So, and if you notice that the boiler room that it goes into where the furnace is, from what it looked like to me was from the original. If you remember the original dream that Cooper had in season 1, and also if you remember the international pilot, they actually the international pilot they shot as actual movie where they actually had an ending where they confront Bob in a boiler room where he goes like Mike, is that you? Remember that from the dream where he goes, Mike, is that you?
Yeah,
that's the exact location looked like as the scene that where James was walking through. So I noticed that as well. So I feel like maybe that has something to do with Bob, possibly, because the hum, and then like I think it's the same location that Bob was in the dream and also in the international pilot as well. So those are things I've noticed when I was watching the episode.
Cal, how come you're not hosting this show, man? You seem like you're no knowledgeable.
I don't know. Tina got me into all this. Like now I watch
Cal and Tina.
She's got me into all this. Like she's gonna make me a David Lynch Jedi, and since I read the books and I've watched it all like twice now, like I'm like I see all these things. I'm like, wow, I kind of notice these things.
What's your Mito Lynchian count?
I have no idea. I think Tina would probably be able to read that for me out. She like monitors what I say. So, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about that? Like that, I really thought that boiler room scene was probably important because the hum, and I think that's where Bob was in season 1.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff just like connecting, because some shows do this where they'll go and be like, oh, here's it, like Game of Thrones. But when they bring something up from the past and show you it and it's important, it's like with Jon Snow and with the
Tower of Joy and stuff.
Tower of Joy, when it's just like, baby Jon Snow. You know what I mean? Like here, it's like they're edited so they kind of flow really well. Like what I was talking about with the Fire Walk With Me scene with David Bowie, like that dream sequence just seemed like the same sequence.
It was, yeah, and like Tina and I were talking about before. Remember when Lynch? I don't know. Did you guys watch the Missing Pieces or no?
No, we haven't.
Do you remember when he disappears in the actual Firewalk With Me? Did you see what happens after that, or you don't see what happens after that? Is that from the Missing Pieces?
I think Missing Pieces is some kind of supplement. I don't even know exactly how.
No, I know what happens. I don't know if you've seen it. Like I'm asking if you've like. So when he disappears, you don't see what happens to him. You guys personally haven't seen what happened to him after, right?
Okay, first off, who's who?
Oh,
who's him?
David Lynn. I'm not David. Sorry, David Bowie. Bill Jeffries.
No.
So you don't see where he goes when he disappeared, right?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Oh wait, maybe I did. Doesn't he go into the lodge and then you see the kid with the mask?
No. He goes back to, remember he said he was in like in South America, and he goes don't talk to me about Judy, because he was in South America. Remember, he's like, you've been lost for so long, and like whatever it was, some South American country.
No, we're gonna have
you
to
don't remember that? Yeah. So if you watch it, that's where he was, and then something happens. I don't want to tell you where he goes if you don't watch it. You got to watch the Missing Pieces. It shows where he goes afterwards, and that actually connects to a scene that we saw in the episode where Gordon Cole goes into like the void and he sees the woodsman on the stairs. It connects to that scene kind of. So you like just seeing all these things connect is really cool. I was like really happy with this episode because it connected so many things to like the movie, to the original series, and things in this season as well. So I was really happy with this episode.
Yeah, no, we feel the same way. Like this may have not been the most like action but like it was just smooth. It just felt so. He is becoming a Lynch Jedi.
He's your Lynch Padawan learner.
Where's your braid? Where's your Lynch braid?
Yeah, you got to check out Tina's her Tumblr. It's like Lynch Girl 90, I think, on Tumblr.
We met on Tumblr. Fun fact, but we don't have active Tumblrs.
I don't either. I just go to her link on her Twitter, and I just check out the stuff she posts and stuff like that. Yeah. She actually had Kyle MacLachlan. I know she doesn't come on the chat, but she had Kyle MacLachlan like her tweet, and
oh wow,
yeah,
awesome.
And Kyle MacLachlan's wife usually likes her tweets all the time, like a lot of times, but just recently she had Kyle MacLachlan specifically like her tweet.
That's cool.
So she was really excited about that.
Kyle MacLachlan just looked like he's always having a good time.
Yeah, I love following him on Facebook and stuff. He always looks so happy.
Yeah, I like he's a cool guy.
For sure.
All right. Well, yeah, what do you got to plug? I know I kind of did a side plug to.
I cannot wait to talk about next week's episode on Night's Watch for Game of Thrones recap, because I know, like I said.
Did you watch the?
Unfortunately, because I don't like to watch spoilers and leaks and all that, but I told you I have my niece's graduation party on Sunday. Then I also have SummerSlam to watch for Aftermath, and I have all this stuff on Monday, and then I'm going away for a going away dinner on Monday, so I'm so backed up, like I have no time. So unfortunately, I had to watch it early. And like from what Eric tells me is like there's spoilers all online, so just avoid all that and probably watch it early because it was an amazing episode.
We can't, unfortunately, because I already asked Morgan how he would feel about that, and
oh man, you guys
we can't disobey the King of the North.
Well, I thought I've been avoiding spoilers because you know how the other episodes have leaked. I've pretty much avoided spoilers, but even though I've been going on. But just today, thank God I watched this because I saw a spoiler and I'm like, oh crap! Maybe my mind associated with it because I saw the episode.
It's because this one's the episode 9 that
yeah.
So like, but
I might have to talk to Morgan again because now you guys are just making me super.
You know, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm just gonna say like, you know how you told me the episode was lit when like I was on the cruise. This is like in Fuego Inferno, like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Night's Watch on Tuesday, and hopefully we can get Aftermath. Like I said, I'm really busy on Monday. I want to get that Aftermath report card and Aftermath on Monday, but I'm really busy, so I don't know if I can get that. We might have to delay that, but definitely Night's Watch on Tuesday. At 9 p.m. That's pretty much all I have. But I'm really busy coming up, and then we have some. You can check out the Gamer Grudge episode 2 has been posted, I think, by Mac on his YouTube channel, Game Fixers, and there's also links for it on my YouTube channel as well. So
cool.
And there's a few videos of it on my channel as well.
So find it everywhere.
Content.
I'm just excited to talk to you about it when you guys actually watch it. But I'm gonna rewatch it because the quality wasn't that good. So do you remember how this is not a spoiler or anything, but remember how they had the snowy scene when he walked at the end, like in the last episode, like, and it's all white. That's how I felt like watching some of the scenes because it was so white that like I felt like I was actually in the scene because I couldn't see because the quality was so bad, like that fog in front of us, kind of thing. You know.
See, I heard it was HD.
Oh no, the link I saw happened to be not HD, but there were HD links, but they were all down when I clicked on them, so I had to watch the one that wasn't HD. So, but it was good. And I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. I just hope I can get everything done. Yep. I was trying to vamp too because I know Joe and Ashley needed some time, right?
No, I'm gonna get Corey in here.
Oh, okay.
Despite not doing well, he's still gonna call in.
Okay, cool. Corey, hope you feel better. Oh wait.
All right.
So that's it, right?
What's up? Yeah, I think so.
It, right? I gotta go.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah. I have to. Oh God, he's going. Meanwhile. I know where to go.
I would love if Lady Gaga showed up on Game of Thrones. Don't you threaten me with a good time.
That's what?
I don't care. She could be like, I'm Cersei now, and I'd be like, I'm down as fuck. I love her.
Arya's just taking a walk and she's singing in the woods. Doing a duet with Ed Sheeran.
No.
It's a new song. Newer than last time.
Oh, Joe just wanted to know so he could get some bubble tea.
Yep.
Corey's doing him a favor, I think.
Lady of all dragons.
I think she could easily, like, you could put her on a dragon's back and it would not look like something weird. It would just work.
Lady Gaga.
Hello.
Hey, Corey, what's up?
You know, just abscess tooth. You know, it sucks. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Better than you. I'm being real, man. I got 100.
Fair enough. Hey, I had no problem with that answer. I just was calling in real quick to say that I did, in fact, because I know there was bets being taken on this. This was one of my favorite episodes. But it wasn't even Dougie hate that made this one of my favorite. It just was really well edited and structured.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that Dougie is around the what was that?
Trying to adjust the camera because Tom walked by it. Now it's all fuzzy.
I kind of like the fact that Dougie is still in the story, but they're discovering that he's part of this like bipartite thing that he is part of and all that. So I was really happy with this episode. It was very cool.
Cool. Yeah, we were saying
so,
we were liking it for that reason with the no Dougie at least.
So Ashley gets her bet money. I know she was betting on that.
Yeah.
I agree on the structure and the editing, though.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot. Like I said, I really liked the glove guy scene, and there was a lot of stuff I liked about this one.
Yeah, as much as I love this show, I do feel usually that I have watched an hour of television. At the end of it, I'm like, okay, that was an hour.
Yeah.
This time it flowed very quickly. I was like, wait, that's the end? And that was a welcome feeling.
Cool.
And that's really all I have to do.
Okay. Do you want to let us know where we can find you on social media and stuff?
Oh yeah, I am at Metroid on Twitter. I run the tech podcast with my peeps, Mac and Kim Hanley. And this week I'm going to be on Tom Z's Cars and Popcorn show, talking about Death Proof, because I love Death Proof.
Cool. Yeah, we'll probably pop into that for sure.
Sweet. All right.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Feel better.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll try.
It was just a joke.
What is this? Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is a show.
I can't hear you. You'll need to call me back.
Oh.
1 minute.
Call you back now? He can't hear me.
I don't like his spice.
Best?
Back.
I can hear you guys. Okay.
Hey, what's up?
Well, Ashley's inside waiting for our drinks, and then we'll both be on.
Nice.
I could barely hear you guys.
How'd you like this episode?
I loved it. It was really good. See the back of my head, right?
All I see is Joe's hair.
What is going on?
He can't hear us.
So, yeah, it was really good. The part that freaked me out the most, or made me flip out the most, was finding out Diane was related to Janie.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. Plot twist. Did not see it coming.
Which means that, like, that kind of makes me think that, like, was it the Doppelcooper set this up even further? That kind of solidifies Diane working with Doppelcooper to me, or at least leans more toward it.
Yeah, it's nice to have a connection because other than the fact that Dougie obviously looks just like Cooper and stuff, we didn't have like a connection to how they were involved with the whole web of things going on. So it's nice to have these dots connected at this point in the story.
Yep.
Hi, Ashley.
Hello.
How are you?
We weren't expecting a call so quickly.
Yeah, sorry.
It's fine. But yeah, it was a really good episode. We'll talk more once we get in the car in just like 10 seconds because it's loud out here and it's hard to hear you guys over ambient noises.
So you're watching this wondering, what the hell's going on? Well, this is Odd Shape Channel, where we have such great content as Odd Shape Panel Live, Night's Watch, and this show, Twin Peeps. We collaborate with a lot of people, including...
Just make sure it's quiet. All right,
including the Davises. All right, guys, floor is yours.
I've already mentioned the whole Janie thing that I liked. I thought was interesting. In addition to that, I really enjoyed Andy being the one. Like when Andy got sucked into the void, into the other lodge, whatever that place is. I'm assuming it's the White Lodge. Yeah. That place is. I was just like, oh no, you took the wrong person. Of all the people to take, you took the wrong person.
I don't know, man. It was like he was awakened in there. He was like,
yeah, but when he was the one to leave, it's like, no, not Andy, sweet innocent little Andy.
Andy's gonna get eaten alive.
That's probably why he got picked.
Yeah, because he's so pure of heart.
And then when he was like, this is her, we need to help her, she's gonna be killed, we need to take her to jail to protect her, and he's just like a boss.
She's very important. Don't tell anyone she's here. People are trying to kill her and we have to keep her safe. It's just like delivered in that very Andyism way of delivering things, and it was just...
Yeah, I thought Andy had a lot of good moments. I actually liked when he like stood up against Chad and he was like, you know what? You give good cops a bad reputation. Then he like stomps out all proud with like Lucy on his arm. She looks all proud. I was like, this is so cute. I love this.
Yeah. Yes, and I've always loved those characters because they're just so fun.
Yep.
And
Chad's the worst.
Yeah. We were screaming cheers of joy when Chad was getting arrested. We're all like, yes! Yes!
I believe I said Ashley and Joe are going to be happy when that happened.
Oh, man. It was so nice.
So a few points being brought up in the chat. Cal says he forgot to bring up that Jack Rabbit's palace is shaped like the Fireman's Island to get away, which I don't know what that's a reference to. And Tina says Andy is also the only one that has seen both Coopers.
That's true. That's very true. Because I'm trying to think if anyone else had, and I don't know.
Of like regular people.
It took me a second to think, like, oh, but who was with them when they saw him in jail? And I realized that's Gordon Cole. Gordon Cole has seen both Coopers, of course, but
not
of the people that were there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting. I'm really interested to see what comes of Andy because of that experience.
Yeah, I wonder what he's doing with Lucy in that little like tutorial video he got. I was really expecting him to start crying when Laura's picture came up.
Yeah.
He did do a little reaction, but
Also, it's really interesting because I told Cal in the chat, I just finished and she hasn't finished it yet. But she's where I'm about to talk about. In the Secret History of Twin Peaks, there's a chapter that Hawk's talking about Big Ed. It talks about Big Ed's wedding to Norma, not Norma, Nadine. Yeah, wish.
We wish it were Norma.
Yeah, but the wedding to Nadine, and how Andy goes on this huge thing talking about who Nadine is and how people just always tell him things. And I love that Hawk comments like, as a police officer is like he is a gossip hound, and he meant that like in a complete positive. I'm like, that's really, but you can tell that everyone really likes Andy no matter how goofball he is and all that crap. So it's really nice to see Andy kind of step up and be for once.
Yeah, no, I like what they're doing with Andy, and his little tuft of hair looked like it belonged in the White Lodge.
Yeah,
I love
dude,
that.
Andy looked like completely on point.
He did.
Trying to think if there's anything else. There was so much in this episode that was just overwhelmingly good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah,
we did too. I'm excited for next week.
Our roommates came in right as like Andy was like taken to the White Lodge, and they're like, "What are you watching?"
This is their first experience with like Twin Peaks. Like this is the first time they've seen anything of it, and they're like, "What?" So
I don't know what would be weirder, walking in on that part or walking in on the Michael Cera part.
I don't know. Maybe walking in on Sarah Palmer eating a dude's face.
That was my favorite segment of the show because that guy was such a horrible jerk. Did all of the horrible things that Kimber, you talked about it earlier, where it's like, oh, you don't want me. Well, obviously you must be gay then, because like, look at this man meat over here. Why wouldn't any lady want this? And then she's like, do you really want to mess with me? And when she pulled her face and we saw the entity, and then when she like literally went for the jugular, and then she's like, I don't know what happened, because she probably really doesn't know what happened.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was genuine, but they're like, we're going to investigate you, okay, but on her. She has no weapon.
What are they going to find?
What kind of stuff is Sarah Palmer doing around town where people are like, I mean, obviously they probably talk about her because of what happened to her family, but that wasn't her fault.
Or was it? But yeah, someone had talked about in the chat that like it looked like Laura's smile. I had seen pictures of that online where it looked like somebody, the homecoming queen picture, and like superimposed it, and it was like the same smile, like
cool
and everything. So there's some interesting that, I mean, it may be people reaching and just like finding things that look so close it's the same, or it could legitimately be, what's her name, the actress that plays Laura.
Yeah.
Episodes. It's the same thing. Like Big Ed was credited for being in every episode, but he's only been in like the last like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yup.
This episode's so good. So good.
I'm just so excited for the next episode of Game of Thrones. I'm losing my mind.
You're like, who cares about Twin Peaks? Everyone at work is like, oh yeah, Game of Thrones. I'm like, someone please start watching Twin Peaks so I have someone to talk to.
I have so much weird to share.
I have been trying to get people to watch it, but you know, they gotta catch up.
Should maybe the janitor would be interested to be like, there's an episode about Boiler Room?
Maybe? Anyone?
And then you find out he's Freddy Krueger and things go horribly wrong.
No, I hope not.
Be bad. I don't even know where our school's boiler room is. It's probably a good thing.
Nice.
The boiler room's calling from inside the building. Oh, man.
So,
all right. Well, you have anything you'd like to plug? I know you got a bunch of things.
We're working on Avatar for our episode this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah, which we'll post what time because we're gonna do the episode live, but we just don't know the logistics of that yet. But it will be live sometime on Sunday of the day in the waking hours.
Yes. while there is still like when people should be awake kind of thing, like people that adhere to the 9 to 5 schedule. What else? Oh yeah, Fanfiction's coming back. I keep forgetting that I'm doing that thing, at the end of this month or whatever, beginning of next. I don't know.
It's the end of the month.
Yeah, I know. I'm being or under exaggerating, whatever. But oh yeah, no, I know. I see it there all the time.
Tom loves to point at my belt, huh?
Because
Yeah.
I love you. I'm so supportive.
He's like wearing it when you're not there.
Yeah,
Take
right. He just writes his name on the back under the list of winners.
But yeah, I'm fighting. Was it Billy Business in Langley? And it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I've been talking to Cal and Mac about Gamer Grudge. I was on the episode with Tom here. Yeah. And we'll probably face off again someday.
Yeah, I got to fight Tina. Not Tina. Tina, we're fighting on the flagpole. I got to fight Kim, I know for sure, because she won the last one. So congrats to Kim on that. And yeah, no, I was excited. That was a lot of fun, and I'm surprised I won. So, but if it's anything like my fan fiction record, I only win the first episode of anything. So.
Well, I still haven't won fan fiction at all, like ever. So
Like,
I'm not
really?
looking for a single one yet.
What the hell?
It's rigged.
The only time I think I've even gotten into like any sort of speed run was the one against Randall and
Liberty.
Nice.
I think. I actually don't even know if I got that far.
You did.
I did? Okay.
That's
I don't
when
remember.
You pulled the Doctor Who was a psychological
Thriller.
or
Yeah,
something.
okay. Yeah, that's the farthest I've ever gotten.
Wow.
That was a good one, though.
Yeah.
So.
All right,
Alrighty.
folks. We'll see you later. Bye. Boy. Yeah. So speaking of Tina, who I'm gonna fight, Cal is really heading a charity raffle in order to help cover costs for medicine that Medicare, Medicaid, one of those two, doesn't cover. Anyway, it's just to help get medicine. And there's, if you go to Cal's Twitter, which is at Fear. Cal, what's your
probably
Twitter?
go to the Night's Watch one at
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
Night Watch Tube.
Yeah, it's at the Night's Watch Tube on Twitter, and it's the pinned article there, and you'll see the cost for different raffle tickets. And what they're doing is, depending on how much you get, is how many tickets, and then that will enter you into getting a set of Game of Thrones books. So if that interests you, or you just want to help out, you can contact Cal at Night's Watch Tube on Twitter, or at the Night's Watch at gmail.com. I don't know. Cal's going to confirm the email for me in the chat. But Cal just got to do. I know, man. I'm excited too. I'm excited for you.
You guys are stressing me out. I got to talk to Morgan.
Yeah, the lodge just pulled you out of the lodge is up to something. Yep, nightswatchtube at gmail.com is. You can also email if you want any further details, or check out Night's Watch Tube on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, I'm at OddShapePanel. I'm Tom. You can talk to me there.
I'm Kimber at Kimberbatch_OSP on Twitter.
You can always check out our stuff at oddshapechannel.com and our channel for a bunch of little nuggets. Sometimes I edit some little things for fun, and other times we just have some great content. We're also looking for
Guests for a Mormo show?
Yes, we're looking for guests for Mormo show. If you have weird interests, and I say weird because Mormo is the best kind of person who is literally into everything. He's awesome. So if you like horror and punk, or do your own business and like DIY kind of stuff, contact us on Odd Panel or at Mormozine. That you could talk to Mormo directly on Twitter. He's
legit the nicest guy. Super easy to talk to. I went on the show. I would recommend it. So definitely hit him up.
Yeah, if you're curious, the latest episode, like Kimber said, the first one is hers, and the latest one is Susan Layton, who is a film critic for a lot of different horror webisodes. Mormo's just incredible everything. And speaking of Mormo, thank you, Mormo and Raul Rodriguez, our 2 patron producers. We try to mention them. We're trying to mention them on all the shows because they donate a bunch, and it really helps us out. And everyone else who donates, that also helps out. But I'm bound to say this stuff because of the Patreon details. If you want your name said at the end of the episode, you know what to do. Awkward pause, awkward pause, awkward pause. Thanks, everybody. Hope you had a great time on Twin Peaks. We'll be back next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for this show. And Space Opera episode, OSP. We're looking for questions. Send them to us at OutChainPanel on Twitter. Should probably write this down. I'll wait. Seeing how long Kimber would let me wait.
Come on now.
All right, that's it, guys. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.